Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Rahmatun lil alameen. Abil Qasim Muhammad. وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله، صلى الله عليك يا ابن رسول الله. روحي وأرواح العالمين لك الفداء. يا غريب يا مظلوم يا شهيد بأرض كربلاء. ثم السلام عليكم يا أهل الأزهار الحسين مظلوم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. It is not the time for me to engage in a very detailed discourse on the suffering and on the achievements and contributions of Ahlul Bayt in our spiritual and moral growth during these days. It has been one of the very special occasions in the history of Islam to see that a paradigm has been left by men and women of strong will to withstand the most difficult moments of trial and the response to the trial. There is no life that is not faced with a trial. In one way or another, we all go through a trial. For our spiritual growth, we need trials. For our moral strength, we need to rearm ourselves. And the only way we can do it is by participating in something like Ashura together. Ashura comes and goes, but leaves deep mark in our memory because they suffered all these just because they were committed to the truth. They wouldn't have suffered anything if they had given in. Imam Hussain was offered. Why don't you come? Why don't you do this? We'll do this for you. We'll do this for you. But there was one thing that Imam Hussain was worried about. When good people forget the compass of justice and truth, then justice and truth is damaged permanently. If some evil person is tried on such matters, and when he or she gives in, we don't raise those questions. We say, that was what was expected of this person. Yazid knew very well when he wrote a letter in Medina to Medina governor that I need 3 people to submit to my Khilafah. Abdullah ibn Umar, Abdullah ibn Zubayr, and Hussein bin Ali. Of all these 3, Hussein bin Ali is the most important. Because if Imam Ali had endorsed the caliphate, he would have been at peace. I'm sure they would have given him a good, salary, land, everything, anything that he asked for, he would have given them. But Imam Hussein did not submit, and he left for us a paradigm. How to meet the challenges of temptations. And those temptations are for every one of us. From time to time, you do get tempted. When you are asked to leave your principles, what Imam Hussein is teaching us today is that not only me, but my sister Zainab is also committed to the truth that I'm committed to. Each member of my family is committed to what I'm committed to. Ibn Khaldun is correct in his analysis of the success of Islamic civilization. Ibn Khaldun says, when the message of Islam started in the household of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, there was a support of Banu Hashim. And in the worldly analysis, that support of Banu Hashim was far more important than anybody else's support. Because the family members of the Hashemites were all with the Prophet. And Ibn Khaldun, in his own analysis of historical narratives and the success, he makes it clear that on the worldly plane, the Prophet would not have succeeded without the support of Banu Hashim. And what he meant was without the support of Abu Talib. Without the support of Abu Talib, because this is Abdul Muttalib. The children of Abdul Muttalib were more concerned about it. Therefore, later on, it's very interesting to note that in the history of Khums, when Ibn Abbas went to the second caliph and said, we deserve to be supported by the state. We should receive the khums from you. We are the family of the Prophet. The second caliph answered and said, we are giving you. And he said, Ibn Abbas said, who are you giving? So we are giving Banu Hashim. I said, who? Banu Nawfal. Banu Nawfal had not participated with the Prophet at all. Banu Abdul Muttalib had participated with the Prophet. So the Prophet made a distinction already. Those who support us are Hashemites. If they don't support us, they are not Hashemites. Even they might be our clan, but they are not our supporters. Banu Nawfal had no share in the khums, by the way, by the Prophet, by the fixing of the Prophet. He said, no. Those who supported Islam, those who cherished the dream, the vision of Islam, they will receive support from me as I am their head of the family. What Karbala indicates is, I'm very brief tonight, I do not want to engage in a long discussion, but what Karbala reveals is this. Imam Hussein was very, very fortunate. Very, very fortunate in terms of his family support and companion support. I'm telling you that he said several times in the khutbah today and last night. And he praised his companions. He praised his family members. He said, I am lucky to have that kind of family. I'm lucky to have that kind of companionship. That they are supportive of what I believe in. In other words, you need a support. For any organization to succeed, you need a core group to support it. A core group that comes together and says, This is the mission, we will carry it out. You know my reference. It's oil. That oil is in need of a core support group for it to move forward. And that core support group has to come from within the community. I'm not talking about volunteers. I'm talking about those who are saying, we have a commitment to the vision of this organization. We are with it until it reaches its goal, final goal. This is what Imam Hussein experienced in Karbala. What he experienced was that Zainab for a minute did not complain, brother, why did you bring us here? You know, when you are in trouble, when you are difficult moments, you would say, why did you bring us here? What purpose is it serving? Now here we are, you know, we are homeless, we are far away from Medina. Well, what should we do? There is not a single riwayat talking about the complaint that any child did. The only thing that I know is Sakina today, in her fear of what was happening. This is a small baby, so a small girl. At the last minute, she told Imam Hussein, please take me back to Medina. Please take me back to Medina, Baba. Because out of the fear, whenever the children are afraid, they want to go home. They want to go to the familiar place. This is the only thing I have heard in the riwayat. I haven't seen in the history, but Maqtal does say that Sakina did tell her father, please take me back to Medina. I'm more secure in Medina. She didn't say that. But a child feels more secure in a familiar environment. The core group of Imam Hussein alayhi salam today is standing so firmly with him. It's amazing to see Abul Fazl al-Abbas, Ali Akbar. Why do I mention all his family members? Or Habib ibn Mazahir, John the black slave, the Turkish slave, they all are committed to the one and one vision of La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah. That vision is sustaining them. It's not surprising that John, when he comes to Imam Hussein, says, I want to go and fight. Imam Hussein was very considerate. Look, John, you have no such obligation. You have served us in the best manner. You have taken care of him. John was the slave of Abu Dhar. When Abu Dhar died, Imam Hassan took him over. So you come and stay with us. When Imam Hassan was killed, Imam Hussein took him over. You come and stay with us. And they treated him like his own, like their own family member, by the way. This was the habit of Ahlul Bayt. Like Fizza was treated by Imam Hussein, she was another Ethiopian woman. She was a black woman. And Imam Hussein treated Fizza like a mother. He used to call her mother, Ya Ummah. John, Imam Hussein is looking at, you are not supposed to do that. Why should you do it? Why don't you go away? You will find a way of escaping. John, look at this character. He says, Mawla, I ate with you when you were at peace, when you had everything. And today, when you are in difficulties, I should leave you? I will go. He came out. And Tabari mentioned that there was this black man who came out. And he fought bravely. And when he fell, Imam Hussein came with Abul Fazl al-Abbas. Imam Hussein took him over in his own lap. Look at the sense of equality. Look at the way a servant of the home is treated. And Imam Hussein is praying for him, holding his hand and praying for him. What I'm telling you is that every member of the group today, 152, or whatever you say, 72, because by the time they collected the heads today, they were 72. Who they left behind, we don't know. Remember that tomorrow the tribes around will come, Asha'ir. They'll come and pick up the bodies of those whom they knew, of their own tribes. And they would leave Banu Hashim, they would leave those companions who had no connection whatsoever with the tribes. So it's quite possible that those other heads were already, taken and transported to the burial place. Like Huri is buried far away by Banu Asad. So Banu Asad, as the members of the tribe around, they took the body of Huri. And I'm sure there were others who took the bodies of their family members. And between the Haram of Imam Hussain and the Haram of Abul Fazl Abbas, they all are buried underneath. We walk over them, by the way. Between the two Harams in Karbala, we walk over these Sahaba. In other words, all the tribes were taking their members and burying them. This was all land. The 72 heads that were collected today after evening, and tomorrow they will be counted by Umar ibn Sa'd. And he will tell Khuli, take these heads towards Kufa. And they will get to the Kufa and the palace would be locked. So they will spend the night outside, which is known as Masjid al-Hanana in Kufa, if you've ever been there. That's where Imam Hussein's head was. But the women showed something very different. A woman of Bakr bin Ail, she was a woman of the Bakr bin Ail. And in the evening today, when everybody was looting, you won't believe if I told you, I can't even say it. They cut the finger of Imam Hussein to get the ring. They did. Imam Hussein today, before he went out, before he went for his final journey, he told Bibi Zainab, give me those old clothes that I should wear underneath, so that they will not be interested in them. So he wore old clothes underneath. And he wore long thobe. They were long clothes so that they would not touch him. They would not leave him naked. By God, they did. They left the son of the Prophet naked. They took away everything. And there are names given, such and such took the clothes, such and such took the amama, such and such took this. Including his shoes, they took. Because everything was now holy, wasn't it? They were preserved as a holy relic from the grandson of the Prophet. They didn't mind killing him. Look at the tragedy. Look at the tragedy. By the time, this time, Kulsum, when the news comes, and I saw this in history, I don't want to read anything tonight, I just want to tell you what I remember. That I see Kulsum is trying to see the Qibla and says, Wa Muhammad, wa Fatima, wa Aliyah. She's crying. And while she's crying and standing outside, the soldiers are gathering to put the fire to the tents. They're coming with the fire. And they're putting the fire. Women and children who are left, according to historians, they are running between tents. From one tent to another tent. The last tent is the tent of Ali ibn al-Hussein, Imam Zain al-Abidin. And that tent has not been touched because of one thing that had happened just an hour before that time. They found Ali ibn al-Hussein and they wanted to kill him. How come there is a man? There's a young boy. What is his name? Shimr is asking. This is Ali. Why wasn't he killed? He's ill. He's half dead. That's how they're describing him. He's half dead. Kill him now. Hamid bin Muslim, if it is correct, was there. He said, war? Is this what you're going to do? with this sick young boy? Are you going to kill him? Shame on you. Hamid bin Muslim is saying, shame on you. At least spare him. Spare the children, spare the women. Shem said, okay, leave him alone, don't touch this tent. And they started moving in other tents. What they are doing is they are finding things in other tents. They are picking up things. And it's heartbreaking, heartbreaking. One of these soldiers goes and checks the pockets of Imam Hussein, by the way, and takes out money. This is how it is described. He throws on him only a few coins. You don't have even money. Can you imagine this cruelty? Can you imagine what is happening in history? Where are Muslims sleeping? Why can't they open these chapters in history and read them for themselves? It's unbelievable. You can't even believe this. And not only that, I used to think that they had no idea who this man is. And they were saying, Ibn bint Fatima, is this what you have? So they know that this is the son of Fatima. It's not they don't know it. If you don't know, you might do that. But if you know this is the grandson of the Prophet, Ibn bint Nabiy, or if this is what it is, how can you treat him like that? And here is the Prophet with an emblem with the laws about the rights of the people. Nobody should be mutilated. Nobody should be mutilated. No further damage should be done to anybody, even if it is an enemy. That was his ethics of war. And you find that one of the soldiers later on is describing that I had never seen anybody so much in blood as I saw Hussein ibn Ali. He was covered in blood. The night was passing very quickly. Bibi Zainab and Kulsum are taking care of the children. Bibi Zainab was the commander. Imam Zain al-Abidin, in this evening, we are told, he fell into the sajda and he did not raise his head until after midnight. He was in sajda. In other words, the situation was in the hands of Zainab and Kulsum, the two sisters. They were counting the children. They were collecting the children. And they found that Sakina is not there. Sakina was not to be seen. And Zainab was worried. Because they all knew Sakina was very close to her father. What would we say? What would we say? And they started looking for Sakina. Aina, aina ya bunayya. Where are you, child? Where are you? It's not very big planned, by the way. In the darkness of the night, you could go and you could cross the desert on the other side, on the Katlaga, from the Khayma. And you could go, but there were no Khaymas, they were burnt. Gutted Khaymas, and Zainab and Kulsum are going toward it when they hear Ilayya, Ilayya. Ilayya, Ilayya, on this side. And they see Sakina there. Near the body of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. This was the night. Bibi Zainab is asking Sakina, Sakina, we are looking for you everywhere. How did you get here? So I was going around and asking, I was calling my father. I was calling my father, and from this place I heard, come here, child. And when I came here, how did you know that this was your father? Said I fell on his chest, and I knew this was my father. This was Sakina. This is Sakina. This is 11th night, my brothers and sisters. But you wait until the night is over for tomorrow. And when the day comes, they are all busy burying their own deads. Ahlul Bayt are left. Abbas, Hussein, everyone is left unburied, unburied. And the women are now being tied, and they're all tied together. And the worst cruelty was to walk them through the bodies of the shuhada. That means now they are seeing them all. And here is, Zainab, she can't hold back the pain she is going through. What Zainab does, she looks towards Medina. Ya Rasulullah, salam alayka, Ya Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, salam on you. When you passed away, Malaika did the salat on you. Look at your son Hussein, where is he sleeping? Look at your son Hussein, what has happened to him? In other words, Zainab is complaining to Rasulullah, Kulsum is complaining to Imam al-Mu'mineen, and they are being taken, they are being dragged through the bodies. My final point is, who was there to help out Bibi Zainab? You know where Bibi Zainab was looking all this time? Whereas they passed through the bodies, she's looking at the face of Imam Zain al-Abidin. All of a sudden she thinks, he might die. She says, Ali, wake up, what's happening to you? And Imam Zain al-Abidin, all of a sudden he wakes up. Said, Aunt, I can't see this. I can't see this. Zainab is trying to console Ali ibn Hussein. Ali, you have to take it easy. Ali, you are the Imam. You are the one who is going to lead this group back to the home. You are the one, you are the leader. Imam Bibi Zainab is actually standing in the place of Abul Fazl Abbas now. This was the role of Abul Fazl Abbas with Imam Hussein. The Imam of the time in Abul Fazl Abbas, the Imam of the time in Zainab al-Kubra. They are standing together. Imam Zain al-Abidin collects himself and looks at his aunt and says, Aunt, aqwa minni, you are much stronger than I am. You are able to withstand this, and why not? This is Zainab, by the way, who did not drink water, who did not complain about anything. And we don't even know when she got the water. I only know that on the 11th night, when they were all thirsty, they were all sitting in the burnt tents, there was no soldier on Furat anymore, by the way. There were no soldiers. There was nobody to guide the water of Furat. But I'm asking this question, would Layla like to drink water after seeing what happened to Ali Akbar? Would Rubab drink water after Ali Asghar was killed? Asking for water for him? Would Kulsum drink water after what happened to Abbas? Kulsum was the only woman who had no child in Ghariba. She was childless. And Abul Fazl Abbas was very close to him. And Abul Fazl Abbas tried always to console his own sister, who was, who had no son, who had no children. She was a widow. She was married to Bibi Zainab's brother-in-law, that is Abdullah bin Jafar. She was married to Uthman bin Jafar. And they were killed in Siffin. Usman was killed in Siffin. So Kulsum was without children. And in Karbala, there was no one to console Kulsum. Can you imagine how difficult the moment is for everyone at that point? My only concern here is that I should point out to you that Sakina is in the worst condition of all of them, and Bibi Zainab is trying very hard to console Sakina, and only thing that I remember is that this is Sham-e Ghariban. Sham-e Ghariban means you don't have family members, you don't have anybody to share your wept, to share your mourning, to share your suffering. This is Sham-e Ghariban. And this is the night you and I need to sit and remember Imam Hussein, and this is the night when we do the matam of Imam Hussein. This is the night when we cry out, Hussein, Hussein, Hussein. Let us read together, Shiyayun Imsha, شام غریبان است. ای شیعیان امشب شام غریبان است. جسم حسین عریان اندر بیابان است. ای شیعیان امشب شام غریبان. All together. ای شیعیان امشب شام غریبان است. جسم حسین عریان اندر بیابان است. در کربلا امشب زاری و گریان است. در کربلا امشب زاری و گریان است. جسم علی اکبر اندر بیابان است. ای شیعیان امشب شام غریبان است. ای شیعیان امشب شام غریبان است. با حالت محزون چون ناشه خون است. با حالت محزون چون ناشه در خون است. ختم رسول آید شب گریان است. ای شیعیان امشب شام غریبان است. ای شیعیان امشب شام غریبان است. جسم حسین عریان اندر بیابان است. ختم رسول آید با جمله همراهان. ختم رسول آید با جمله همراهان. از قتل فرزندانش گریه و نالان است. ای شیعیان امشب شام غریبان است. ای شیعیان امشب شام غریبان است. جسم حسین عریان اندر بیابان است. ذاکر در این مجلس صدیق کبراست. ذاکر در این مجلس صدیق کبراست. از داغ فرزندانش با قلب سوزان است. از داغ فرزندانش با قلب سوزان است. ای شیعیان امشب شام غریبان است. ای شیعیان امشب شام غریبان است. جسم حسین عریان اندر بیابان است. در کربلا امشب زاری و گریان است. در کربلا امشب زاری و گریان است. جسم علی اکبر اندر بیابان است. ای شیعیان امشب شام غریبان است. ای شیعیان امشب شام غریبان است. جسم حسین عریان اندر بیابان است. یا حسین حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین حسین یا حسین